Hello and welcome to this presentation, this technical presentation on email functionality for C#.NET applications. I am Joshua Inman, and let's get right to it. And so you might ask why email functionality for C# applications? Well, many software applications need to be able to send emails either to their clients or back to their own system. In particular, our application that we're working on for our Capstone is new software for ASU's 3D print lab. And something that has to happen a lot is we have to update the students who are printing things at ASU's print lab about the status of their print. Is it in the queue? Has it been completed? Do they need to come pick it up? Do they need to come drop off filament? So this is something we had to do, and we're working in C#.NET, and nobody on our team had known how to do this, so it was my responsibility to learn how to do this. And so we're going to learn today how to send emails using a SMTP client server, and also a little bit in how to provide security to the emails being sent. Obviously, we want to make sure our password is protected, that everything is secure. So there's two broad approaches for sending emails in .NET. We first have Mailtrap, which is a modern approach. It has a lot of built-in security features, but it does require a subscription. And so we talked to our sponsor about this, and due to the subscriptions that would be required, we decided instead to go the traditional built-in route, which is a SMTP client class in system.net.mail. And so we're going to explain in this presentation how do we set up that class, but in our references, which we'll get to the end, we also have an article on how to do Mailtrap. And so in terms of building the SMTP client, the first thing we need is a client itself, and it needs to be able to connect to the host and a port. Now, we were using a Gmail host. It's gmail.smtp because we had a Gmail account, and then you can use port 587 to be able to send that email. And then so now that we have our client, which will be what will actually send the email, now we need to construct the email message. And so we can start by defining some email addresses with a mail address object, which you just have to pass the string of the email address that you're sending it from and that you're sending it to. And then you need a email message object next. And it needs to know what those two emails, the from and the to email, are. That's how it's constructed. Then you can add the body and the subject as strings, and then add the credentials as well. We'll talk about how to do that securely on the next slide, because we definitely don't want to just be typing our password out in the body of the code. And then finally, we use the send email function to send the email, and we want to use a try and catch any exceptions and handle them appropriately as well. Now, let's talk about security. How are we going to add the credentials? Well, we want to use the app settings.json file to secure our password information and to encrypt that password rather than typing it out in the code. Then the application can go and can use that information rather than having it there in the code. So that keeps it protected, ensures we're not passing it in plain text. Also, we don't want to use our normal Gmail password here. You can go into Gmail and get your Gmail first two-factor authenticated, and once you do that, they'll let you set app passwords. And so a password that can only be used for that app. And that will be a more secure way to allow this app to be able to access to be able to send emails from whatever Gmail account you're using, if you're, in our case, using a Gmail account. And then the .json file can store a lot of information. I'd recommend that you use it to store the host and the port information as well, so that that can be changed easily, configured to the user, etc. Now here are references, as I promised. The first one is the mail trap reference, and then we have the Microsoft.NET documentation for the SMTP client class and the credential security information down below. And so thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope that this is helpful if you're ever using C#. Thank you.